Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. One of the more disturbing trends going on right now, the whole cancel culture thing. And we've talked about that in the past, but it's gotten a lot worse literally in the last couple of weeks. You know, and I'm of the opinion, looking at history, if you can take people's power away, you can control them. And one of the key ways of taking people's power away is preventing them from being able to exchange information, to communicate with each other, to shutting down their communication systems. And I don't care if it was a Banana Republic 50 years ago where they go over and take over the radio stations and the TV stations, or deplatforming a gun company, a gun organization. Facebook just shutting down Philip Van Cleve from the Virginia Citizens Defense League. You have these groups, and some of these outfits are now large enough to where they are not really a provider. They are the online, the highway, if you will. And we have not yet come to grips with what we're going to do about that. But it is serious, and in the blink of an eye, you're there, and then you're not there online. And online is basically being there, being in existence these days. A company that just ran into that this week was the huge website AR15.com. Joining us to talk about that and a lot of other things, Pete Brownell from Brownells and AR15.com. Hey, Pete, how you doing, partner?
I'm doing pretty good, Tom.
Okay, well, okay. First of all, back up, because a lot of people know, obviously, they know the Brownells name, they know you, they know Brownells.com, the huge outfit. But you guys bought AR15.com, is that right?
Yeah, the Avias and I, when Brownells got together about over a year ago now, so they're now working with us.
Okay, good deal. All right, so we had this news that broke. It's kind of like, what just happened? And it was it GoDaddy that did this thing?
Yeah, it was GoDaddy. I wouldn't have guessed GoDaddy, our registrar. A lot of people's registrar.
Yeah.
They're very good at it. Pulled the plug on us.
So a registrar is, I liked your description when you were on Tucker Carlson. You said this is the phone book or the phone directory. It's how you find different websites as there is this directory. And once they took you off, it's kind of like, well, nobody could find AR15.com.
That's right. They're the person that takes the input at your search bar, and they tell you, go to these servers. And when there's no one there telling you, there's the same thing as being taken off the internet because no one can find you.
You're just not there. So what was the transition? What transpired? How did this develop?
Yeah, there was so AR-15 for, 25 years since their inception have never allowed illegal types of talk or activities being promoted on that site. So we don't condone violence. We don't do any of that. And to make sure you are in compliance with your own policies, mm-hmm. you have to moderate. So there's a whole cadre of great moderators out there that are looking through and running a thread and making sure that players are staying within our code of conduct.
Okay.
So happens to line up with GoDaddy and many of the other hosting services and companies along those lines.
All right.
So what happens is since you are a platform, you allow people just to talk like any other social media place, mm-hmm. and you're moderating that, and you're helping guide that conversation to a degree, making sure people stay in bounds. During the leading up to and during the 6th, there was chatter going on that was getting quite animated, and we were moderating as we always have been. And GoDaddy didn't like the pace that we were going at. And they got a complaint, and the complaint basically said that you're in violation of our terms in promoting violence.
So
and that was it. You're done.
They got a single complaint. How many people do you have on AR15.com?
Well, geez, we got 6 million a month, heading towards 7. Any one time there'll be tens of thousands. So it's hard to stay on top of these things as quickly as immediate.
Well,
and frankly, we believe in free speech. So it's don't change the definitions out from underneath us as we are.
And you got people there who are moderating, but it's not real time. It's like they're reading, but you can only read it so fast, and it may be a few hours before a moderator sees a particular post and then can react to that. We're doing as fast as you can, but it's not a real-time computer-generated deal. So what did GoDaddy came back? Did they give you a warning and say, "Hey, you guys got to get this thing fixed" or anything?
Yeah, there was a, "Hey, we're noticing things." We said, "Yeah, we're on top of it. We're fixing it." But then it was woke up. When I was actually talking with Wong, that's when he got the notice that, "Hey, we just got the boot. We're deplatformed. We're no longer being carried by GoDaddy." So we were kicked off the website. Now that may look differently no matter where you are in the country because of how many times a registrar updates all those servers around the country. So sometimes it would look like maybe it was an hour or two because we scampered to get back up online with the new registrar.
Right.
And in some areas, it looks like you were down for plenty of hours, almost 24 hours,
okay.
as the new registrar told everybody, "Hey, I'm the new guy to go look at to point you to the right server farms."
And as they tell us, it takes a little while for it to populate the DNS and all.
Right.
You get into the nitty gritty of the stuff. So where are you now? Is AR15.com back up?
We are up and at 'em. So we were shut down. We actually had a backup site called AR15-backup, and that's what served as our temporary site. Not full functioning, but it was still operational and still able to communicate with people.
Okay.
Now we're back up. Yep.
Okay.
Found another partner, and we're ready to rock and roll. But it does raise a flag of the partners that are in hosting and providing an online service to all of them. Where are they going to respond? What kind of risk do they now put into the mix on staying open and available to have your First Amendment rights on this issue?
And it is. I mean,
so
people say, and I know people say, "Well, it's not the government shutting it down, so it's really not a First Amendment right." Yeah, maybe, but it is a free speech right. And if you get to a certain point where people, and we had several cases this past week where Twitter, Facebook, and Amazon, supposedly acting independently, all shut down somebody on the same day. That is maybe perhaps being President Trump. And others, and you're thinking, at a certain point, if you completely are deplatformed and unavailable to appear anywhere on the internet, it may not be a government action, it may not be literally a First Amendment action, but it certainly is a free speech action, and that is very troubling right now.
It is troubling. Now there's a bit of a nuance in this. These are public company, these are private companies. They're not paid for with tax dollars. They should have the right to do whatever they want to as far as who's on the site and who's not on the site. But there's something called Section 230.
Right.
And it's us, the people that are in social platforming, and maybe more people across the country are starting to discover this. Section 230 is protection that when civilians make comments, the hosting company and the brand name it's on their Twitter, AR15, we're not liable for those comments if we allow free speech to be the city square that people are crowing from or talking from.
Right.
But once we start editing and start cutting people's voices out,
you become a publisher instead of you're a publisher then and not a platform.
And then you're liable for everything that goes on that site. So you can't have government protection without the obligation of adhering to and adhering to First Amendment free speech. So you can't have it both ways.
Okay. Well,
so you got to do one or the other.
Yep, exactly. You're right. Well, we'll go keep following this. Pete, I get you to hold on here a second. I need to take a break. We'll come back. And since Brownells is one of the largest online sellers of ammunition and guns, I want to find out, where is the ammunition and guns, partner? We'll take a quick break. You going to take that, Bernard, are you?
Yeah. If anybody's got extra ammo, I'm buying. So.
You're buying. Oh, okay. There you go. We're talking with Pete Brownell from Brownells and AR15.com. If you'd like to join us, 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.